Hi, this is Brian Panish. Remember, sharing is caring. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Get into the game. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we're joined by Sean Flaherty of the Ketch's Law Firm in Boston, Massachusetts. Sean is the managing partner of this law firm. He attended the Quinnipiac University in Connecticut and the New England School of Law. He was named a Phi Beta Kappa, Magna or summa cum laude graduate from Quinnipiac. I didn't know you were that smart, Sean. Welcome.
I'm not.
Welcome to the show.
Not, Brian, I'm not.
Well, what happened there? Quinnipiac, something.
Yeah, you get lucky every now and then in life. The right study partners.
Before you became a lawyer, were you involved in another business?
I was, Brian. So I took a different path, through the legal, to getting to where I am now. I was a Local 7 union IAM worker here in Boston, which is one of the oldest unions in New England, and I was working in the trades. My father and my grandfather had been in the union before, and so I had been doing that for a period of time, and unfortunately was injured at a job, and eventually wound my way through undergraduate and then through law school, really because of that.
And you get compensated for the injury?
Well, yeah. So funny enough, the current firm that I'm with, that I'm the managing partner of, they represented me for my injury. A number of years ago, 21 years ago now.
Now you're running the firm.
Yeah, I started off making $10 an hour here as a law clerk, and now I run the law firm.
All right, let's talk about the law firm. How many lawyers? Where do you practice? What are your practice areas?
Sure. So we're the largest personal injury firm in New England, and we practice primarily in Massachusetts, but we have lawyers that practice in all of the New England states, which is Vermont, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Maine, and Rhode Island. I have 42 lawyers that work for us here, and work with us here. And we have a pretty good sized staff. We have a total staff of probably about 140 or thereabouts.
Almost 200 employees in the law firm.
Yeah, I think thereabouts. Honestly, I lose track. I think if I think about it too much, I probably lose more sleep.
So what are the practice areas that the firm focuses in?
So we practice primarily only contingent. And we do everything from workers' comp to medical malpractice to, personal injury, employment litigation. Basically, if we can help the victim or the injured party, then we're going to, whether it's they're being, taken advantage of in an employment setting or in their workers' comp case or whatever else the situation is.
With a firm with that many lawyers, it must be a lot of issues in managing the lawyers and making sure things are getting done. How do you deal with those? How do you tackle those issues?
Those are some of the bigger issues that you deal with. That we have. I'm lucky enough to practice with a lot of wonderful lawyers and very intelligent, smart, driven lawyers. But certainly managing the personalities and managing their caseloads it's very difficult. It's not an easy thing, and it takes up a good chunk of my time. Plus I still personally practice as well, so I still have 350 open files myself, which doesn't leave much time for sleep.
No, but you love it, right?
I do. I absolutely love it. Every day is a wonderful new shot for me to try to make a difference in my clients' lives, and that's I love doing it.
So how it must have been helpful for you, having worked in the construction industry, when you became a lawyer, then in representation and getting lawyers and clients that knew you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it gave me a big leg up. I think that sometimes in life, the things that come on at the time are difficult and tough are the things that you learn from the most and that make you who you are. And I know from speaking with you, a lot of it comes back to football for you. And I played football, and I wrestled straight through school, and it's those. I lost in the state finals, and I spoke recently at my high school, and someone asked me, when did you stop thinking about losing in the state finals? I said, I still haven't. Every day, I
had that same experience. I know, losing that last game. But what is it that you drew from athletics and competition that translates into your practice and helps you?
Yeah, I think that in general, being an athlete and liking competition is something that it draws a strong parallel with our trial lawyers here. We try more cases than any firm in the state of Massachusetts. We just tried a case we lost a case last week. 2 weeks before that, or a week before that, we hit a case for $1.8 million that went to a jury. So we're constantly pushing the issue, and I find that the lawyers here that do that succeed the most have a drive that relates and correlates very well with being an athlete and being an ex-athlete, and I think that it's a strong point of reference for somebody.
What about the discipline and that you have? How does that translate?
Absolutely, discipline, following through with things, not being being a team player and really being able to work well, because with these trials, you're working with 4 or 5 sometimes other attorneys. You're working with experts, and being able to coordinate and work with a team is super important. And it takes drive, it takes determination, and it's an important thing. So it's absolutely something that is crucial for us.
In the state of Massachusetts, most cases are.
Yeah.
Are there caps on damages in any cases?
There aren't caps on damages, but we're new to some of the aspects that you've been practicing with. So we have voir dire, and it's new.
So how long, talk about that. So 10 years ago, there were no attorney voir dire of juries.
Correct. And now there is. And fortunately, we've really seen an uptick in finding the jury that we want at this point in time. So it's still being processed through the system. Certain judges deal with it differently. They allow some judges are the old school thought where they're giving limited voir dire, panel. Some other judges are giving individual. So it's really a court by court basis, and it allows you to learn ahead of time. The judge will give you an idea as to what they're going to allow, and then we try to kind of.
Is there a statute that allows it, or is that kind of through case law?
No, it was just recently enacted by the legislature here. So just 2 years ago now, Brian, and don't quote me on that exactly, but year and a half, 2 years ago, thereabouts.
Is that something that the trial lawyers went to the legislature, lobbied, was able to get enough support to pass that through? Do you know anything about how that process works?
Absolutely. So our trial organization here, MATA, M-A-T-A, is the backbone of the trial lawyers here in Massachusetts, and it was through the hard work of MATA, the Board of Governors, which I sit on, and the attorneys that kind of really pushed this, and we were able to get this through, and it's
now,
like I said, it's
evolving.
Yeah, it's evolving. It absolutely is. Now, I know it's something that a lot of states have limited or have none or have had it forever, but yeah, it's evolving for us.
Was it hard to educate the legislators of why this is important in a trial, to have the lawyers speak with the jurors, find out what biases or leanings they may have in an attempt to find a impartial jury?
It was, and as important as it was to have the legislature buy in, it was also important to have the judicial body buy into it, and that is was going on then and is still continues to go on, because there are, the legislature passed it, but allowing it to proceed in the courtroom the way that we want it to is another thing, and trying to get the judges to show it's not going to lengthen the trial, and it's going to allow for a more fair jury, and that by allowing it, you're going to have access to justice that's otherwise being obstructed. So the judges are starting to get, for the most part, have bought into it, and certainly the trial lawyers have, and overall, it's allowing us to have better juries, which is great.
And it's going to help the clients on both sides. We're going to get a fair trial.
Absolutely.
So the role that the trial lawyer plays, there's more to it than just being in court. You mentioned lobbying and work together. What type of things does MATA or other trial organizations do to help their clients outside of the courtroom?
Sure. So, I mean, I always say to the lawyers that are here is that, the office and being in the courtroom is only half of the job, and that you really all need to be doing other things that are going to help you, help the practice, and help the overall law firm here. And so we try to get involved in all levels. We're involved with, nonprofit organizations and groups that take care of injured victims. We're involved in with the legislature, with lobbying. We're involved with fundraising. We're involved with really every aspect of law, whether it's to generate new business, new client referrals, or to help with the get the trial bar out in front on issues that are coming and so forth. And there's, as you know, Brian, from doing this for as long as you have, there's always something new coming up, and there's always somebody pushing their agenda. And it's important for all members of the trial bar to unite, have a place to be able to work together, because really our interests are all in line, and we all are looking for rights to justice, access to justice, and speedy, fair trials and so forth. And there's really nothing. There should be no dull time or downtime because of all the work you have to do.
Well, you mentioned that at least more than half of your work is done outside the office of the courtroom.
Absolutely.
I know to have 42 lawyers, you have to have a lot of cases.
Yes.
What is it that you find helps you, whether it be marketing, rainmaking, signing new clients? What are the things that lawyers need to do to improve in that area?
So, Brian, I think that the first thing people need to do is you need to scream from the mountaintop that you are a trial lawyer, and this is what you do. So every person I know knows what I do for work. And so the best thing anybody can do is to let everybody that you know in your life know that that's what you do, and that if you're hurt, either on the job or elsewhere, you need to come find me if you live in Massachusetts, because we're going to take care of you and we're going to do the best thing for you. And so that's the first thing, is that I see all too often with lawyers that, I don't think their neighbors know what they do for work. And I think it's important for everybody to kind of really publicize themselves, and it doesn't cost anything. From that, obviously, if you want to take it to, there's different levels. There's guys like John Morgan, who I know and others who are consistently using, every mode of marketing possible to generate cases. We here, we do a lot of direct referral things. So a lot of our clients are referring us our next case. We work well with the labor unions here, and a lot of the unions kind of refer cases into us, and we're constantly marketing as well. I mean, we have billboards. We're
Zambonis. Tell us about the Zamboni.
Yeah, our newest thing is the Zamboni. So that's a fun little item. But it's we're in the press. they just put Tom Brady's GOAT on it, and after the Patriots won their 6th Super Bowl just recently, and so we're the Boston Bruins. We're an official sponsor of the Boston Bruins or what have you, and it's the Catches Law Group Zamboni. So if you go to the Boston Gardens to see the Bruins play, you're gonna see our Zamboni out there.
You mentioned something that's really important to me, and that is client-based referrals. And I noted on your resume, one of the many awards that you've won was 10 Best American Institute of Legal Counsel for Client Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Why is that important, and what kind of work do you do to make sure you have satisfied clients?
Well, I think that if other than telling everybody that you're a trial lawyer and that you're there to help, the next best thing is to have your clients saying that for you, right? And so I try to make every client that I still serve and that I work for so happy that with the service, that if God forbid anything ever happened to them or their family, that they would remember me and Catches Law Group. And that's kind of what I would hope. But that's something that's been, that was here even before I was the managing partner. I mean, that's something that my partners ahead of me have always done. Guys like Brian Flaherty and George Catches and some of the others that were before me, they have always stressed that your next case is likely going to come from the people that you're serving now. So I think it's super important, and it's what I stress to all the young lawyers here.
One thing that I like to tell the young lawyers is every person you touch could be a potential client or a referral source, including the defense lawyers that you may have cases against, and how you treat them. They get people to call them. They may refer cases to you if you treat them right and you handle the case right.
Absolutely. Some of my best referrals have been from, judges, defense attorneys, people that you wouldn't think would ever be able to send you a case, and they absolutely do. And absolutely. I think that every person Brian, knows who you are and what you do, and that's key. That really is key.
All right, let's talk about somebody that's going to law school. They're just getting out of law school. They want to represent plaintiffs. They want to get in the plaintiff personal injury business.
Sure.
What advice do you have for them?
The first thing I think that's crucial and is here. We put it into practice here, but some of our best lawyers have started working with us while they're in law school. So, I started here, like I said, when I was in law school. I can go down the list, but we have 42 lawyers. I would say a quarter of them, maybe more, worked here when they were in law school. And the reason that's so important is there's a lot that's learned from being around something for a long period of time and hearing it and knowing it innately in you, and learning the language and learning how to speak to clients and learning how to deal with people. And that, to me, is stuff that, although you're getting paid not as much as you'd want to be at that point in time, the fact that you're around it and learning it is invaluable for practice later. So that was the first thing. The second thing I would say is you cannot be afraid to lose. You've got to be able to take a loss, get back up, and do it again the next day. If you're getting into the trial business or being a trial lawyer and losing one case is going to be the end of you, then you picked the wrong profession. You've got to have thick skin, and you've got to be able to take a loss. And then the last thing is, I think you just, you have to just work hard. You have to stay late when it requires it, and you have to do what it takes to get the job done.
I noticed a trend that a lot of personal injury lawyers are of Irish descent, especially in Boston. But how is it? What is it about the Irish that want them to get into this plaintiff personal injury business?
Brian, I don't know. The Irish, I'm happy that we're known for for helping people in personal injury, probably more than some of the other things we're known for. I don't know, but I do know that here in Boston, there's a fair number of very good Irish trial lawyers from
Leo Boyle, who I know is a fabulous lawyer.
Leo Boyle is at the top of that list. He is a wonderful gentleman and a great trial lawyer. And I know he's a friend of yours and a friend of mine as well. And right down the list, to some of the lawyers that I have here in the office, I have Flaherty's and Sullivan's and McDonough's, straight through the office.
So what does the firm have for planned for the St. Patrick's Day celebration?
Well, St. Patrick's Day always runs right up against my wife's birthday, so I typically have to balance taking her out and dealing with my family stuff. But we as a firm, I guess as far as culture goes, we go out a lot as a firm. We have annual things that we absolutely, no matter what we do. We have an October dinner that we have every year with a guest speaker. We get together socially, and I think that's important as well, because as a trial lawyer, we like to talk to other trial lawyers about what we're doing, what's going on, what the witnesses just said in a case, what the jury's questions were, and it's fun to speak to other people with similar interests about it. So we try to do our best to get out.
And I think one thing that the Irish have is that Blarney, the ability to tell a story, I think, is important for personal injury lawyers.
It is. Maybe that's why you're so good.
All right, we're running out of time. What are the three things that you would tell a young lawyer that wants to be a trial lawyer that he or she needs to do?
I would say, number one, work hard at wherever you are. If you're in school and you're working hard, that's great. But I would work harder. I would do well in school, and I would have a job while you're in school. I think that shows tremendous ability to balance when you can do that. Two, I would say, constantly be networking and be social. Be a person that likes to get out and talk to other people. And then I think just in three in general, and this is probably what I did from day one. I treated, every client and that I ever represented, and still to this day, like, it's my only client. And I try my darndest to get the best results for every one of them. It's why now, even, managing the firm, I still have a full caseload, because I just like to help people. And so I think if you can do those three things, you're gonna do very well, doing this.
Well, Sean, thank you. That's some great advice. It was a pleasure to have you. Looking forward to having you back again.
Thank you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
All right, you too, my friend. Thank you.
Hi, this is Brian Panish. Remember, sharing is caring. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Get into the game.